Welcome back to Gwen's Place. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And today we're at TG's. This is Tina Grimes.
Yes.
She is the founder of the Tina Grimes Foundation, and her foundation is enlightening and uncovering and making others aware about domestic violence. Tina, take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gwen's Place. This is still Gwen's Place. When she's here, she's at home. So I'm gonna do a little interview on Gwen today. Thank you for letting me help share some of your story.
Thank you.
As well, because us talking about domestic violence, the signs, what brought us there, child molestation, all those things will help somebody else. So thank you so much for being so open and honest and allow me to hear what's going on and maybe share to the world as well.
Thank you. And that is the purpose of Gwen's Place, is to grow a community of people helping people.
Oh, great. That sounds great. So we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
No half stepping. So we're going to first talk about, we're going to go back to when you were maybe 12, 14. We may go to 10. But I want to know a little bit about Gwen, why she accepts poor behavior from men. Why does she feel like she has to accept that? And where does that come from? You mind sharing that with us?
No.
Okay.
The way that I grew up, it was extremely strict and extremely old school. And not that there's anything wrong with old school.
Right.
I raised my child in school.
Right.
But they were unknowledgeable in areas that they thought they were being protective, but the way that my parents did this, the way that they were protecting, more so my dad than my mom, but the way that they were protecting me was actually making me quite ignorant to the ways of the world. And so,
share some of that. When you say, how did they protect you? And give me an example of that, and maybe not knowing some things that you should have known, but they protected you, but they actually didn't help you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see. One that really comes to mind, well, there's a lot, but there's a funny one.
Right.
And the funny one is, older people did not discuss sex. They did not discuss how you have babies. They did not discuss any of that. So, of course, being a rebellious child, I guess.
Right.
At age 17, my brother had two friends, and I told him to slip one of them a note, asking if they would be my boyfriend, and he said yeah. Well, there was a community thing going on, and it was dark outside, and he kissed me. And boy, was I scared that I was pregnant.
Oh my God!
At 17,
so you was missing something.
No, I was missing a lot.
How you get pregnant? You didn't even know how you got pregnant.
No, man.
And we can see it and laugh, but that is kind of scary. That at 17, you were so sheltered. It sounded like that. Whatever you were told about sex, if anything, you can get pregnant by kissing. So what do you think that come from? Do you think that come from parents? Because I know I hear people saying parents do what they know and what they have, but not what they're taught. You know what I'm saying?
I think that in this case, it stemmed from them. Well, mostly my father. It stemmed from my father thinking that if I didn't know about it, then I wouldn't/couldn't do it.
Wow.
And I suppose I couldn't, but
right. Wow.
But it did not. It ill prepared me for the world that we live in today, which leads into the turmoil, relationships. There's other things as well, but that is a huge. The ignorance factor is a huge thing.
Definitely. So you want to talk about anything that happened to you in your early childhood? Because what we're trying to get to is why you are the way you are when it comes to men and relationships. I'll let you share that, but I'm just trying to get to the fact. So we know you didn't know how you get pregnant. You thought you can get pregnant kissing,
right?
So anything that happened after that kind of scared you as far as being in a relationship? Like, what molded you? What did you think was a good relationship or a good man?
Honestly, all I knew, and I should say, for the better part of my life, all that I have known is that a good man, according to my father, it's like rough hands, kind of hands-on, took care of the family. My father was not an emotional man. His thing was, when you show emotion, you are, the term that they used back in his day was henpecked. You are not a man if you showed any kind of emotion. We were not allowed to hug on our father or anything like that. I remember my mom, when I was younger, she hugged me and she was like, "Don't let daddy see." So, that kind of thing. They were just like
emotional,
manly men. I don't know. But I mean, and so I came to the conclusion that men didn't have feelings, that they're just strong all the time in every situation. And, they're kind of just rough. So that's how I went about things, thinking that, that. But, of course, that's not healthy. That's not going to put you in a healthy relationship.
It's not. So, because we have sons, so how do you change that cycle with your son? I know for me, I tell my son it's okay to cry. If you feel a certain way, it's okay that I tell him I love him every day. I hug him. Like, I don't want him to be one of those guys that maybe I have dealt with or somebody has dealt with down the line, that if you say something to them, they don't have no emotion. So I know what you're talking about, but we have sons. So how do you deal with that with your son? And then I want to ask you, have you dealt with a man who showed you emotions, and how did you react to that?
Okay. Now, as far as my son, I do, and I have always told him, you can be open with me, you can be straight with me about whatever, about anything. Now, what I found out, I thought I was affectionate with him, but what I have found out in his teens, later teens, he'll be 18 in May. Is that he feels or have felt some type of way because he was like, "Mom, you always push me away." And I didn't realize that. But when he comes to hug me, I'm like, "Get off me, stop, get off me." We're playing. But I'm always like that with him. And I have to consciously, till today, stop. And because it's like, when he envelops me like that, I feel like I'm being controlled, and I don't like it, and I push him away.
So that,
and he doesn't understand that. But it has affected him that way, and so that that's a hard thing to swallow.
That is very, very hard. So that came from you seeing that and someone treating you that way, that you can't do that to you, in turn doing that to your son
without even trying.
Right.
Yep, without even trying.
Wow.
And
wow.
And there's a simple and easy answer to: has a man ever treated me with emotion? I've never had any man that I've ever dealt with all of them has been the same man. They have all been emotionally unavailable.
So is that, you think that saying is true, that we date our fathers?
I'm kind of coming to that conclusion.
You know, I don't like to say that because I don't even like to hear that.
I know.
But I hear people say that, and I'm thinking, and it's not that you date your father, but you date.
It's what you are
saw
comfortable
and what you,
with,
exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
And yeah,
wow.
I did a whole lot of reading of like the self-help books, and I did do a little bit of therapy, but I wasn't able to do like what I wanted to, you know, with insurance and whatnot. But from what I can gather from the readings and stuff that I did, I can honestly say, from the first boyfriend at 17, until they are all the same person.
From 17.
33 years.
Wow.
They're the same person with the same, and I don't even think that they know that that's what it's just what I attract. But because I can't blame them, because at the end of the day, when I mature up, they are being true to who they are. And I can't come in and be Captain Mrs. Save-A-Ho and think I'm gonna fix what hasn't been. What it's not my. I 2020. That's sad. But 2020, I finally arrived at. It is not my problem to fix.
Oh wow, that's deep.
It was at the end of 2020. I finally came to the conclusion that a broken person is not my problem to fix. No. Because I always thought, okay, I can make myself feel better if I take them and I make them feel better, and they see that I'm here, and they see that, you know, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not like anybody else, and they would do me wrong, and I would continue to do it, and they would do me wrong, and I would continue to do right, and they would do constantly.
You know what? You know what? So, as a child, did you try to get your father's attention?
Well,
could you?
I knew I couldn't. But I tried to. Okay, I got teased for enunciating my words. You know how they go. You're acting white. You're and because I knew my father liked. Well, even my mom. They liked intelligence. So I tried my hardest to be the most. I mean, at my graduation, I was walking across the stage, getting this, walking across the stage, getting that, walking across the stage, getting that. But it still was never good enough, because what I needed was his emotional. I needed that father that was like, "You're beautiful." My dad was like, "Oh, girl, you ain't dealt with your weight yet. You know, your mom passed. You need to deal with that. You know, I think you haven't dealt with that. So, you know, you need to lose some weight." That. And every time I deal with the male persuasion in any capacity of, you know, pretty much, well, it's not pretty much. On my part, that is a huge, huge fear of mine. That I'm not good enough, because I know what's inside this body. Like, I'm good with me on the inside. But I know when they see it, it's a wrap. Because, you know, the stomach ain't flat. The you know, just whatever they've been told is whatever. But I know that I guess it's an overcompensation factor. I guess I overcompensate, try to overcompensate to be overly nice so that you can finally look past what is my shell and actually see the me. But no, I can honestly say that nobody ever took the time to know me. No one. Like, I can ask a simple question, like something as simple as, when is my birthday?
And nobody.
And they would, oh, but the 23rd, the 25th. No, it's the 21st. And I can tell them this, that, and they can't tell me nothing.
Wow, that's.
And you know that you're not. And I figured out, of course, that okay, well, I call myself
Wow.
what's that when you fall back on somebody? I was always that person. I've always been that person. They've always like they would come to me and complain and talk about the woman who they really wanted, who was treating them like crap, but that's who they really wanted.
Right.
But I'm right here doing the right thing, picking them up when they didn't have cars, buying their this and buying their that when they didn't have, but they didn't want me. They could use me for what they needed at the time or whatever, but I wasn't. Let me stop this to do this. Like, I mean, the woman could, if a man is very interested, I believe in someone, he will show you by how he acts.
Right.
So it is always,
wow, this is deep.
let me, I'm sorry, but for the other woman, it would always be, there, like, it would bother them.
Right.
And no matter if I could be like, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want this. Okay, here's one for you. I have only been in one relationship that I was not cheated on. One. Wow. And you have your whatevers, and I've been married.
Right.
Only one.
Wow. This is deep. we're at Gwen's place. This is deep. So I have a question for you.
Gwen is cleaning house.
Gwen is cleaning the house. I have a question, and I know when I talk about this, some females, they might have a problem with this, but like you said, you don't blame the men because you accepted it. And a lot of times I try to let women know that we are at fault too, because it sounds like everything that you've been through growing up led you to be that person that you're looking for something, but you have to find Gwen first.
Absolutely.
You have to know your worth. You're an artist, you're an author, you're a poet, like you are an amazing mother, you're a good friend, like you are so amazing, but you don't see that. And so you allow men to take your time, your energy, your everything.
Right.
But you don't know who you are.
Right.
And once you finish cleaning this house at Gwen's place, I think that's when you'll find who and it's not about finding I'm just saying, get yourself together on the inside. Know that what you went through was not your fault.
So that's a little of my story. Please come back and watch part 3 of the My Makeover series. And please leave me your thoughts and comments below. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. I would like to reach 100 subscribers, so please help me out and like, share, and subscribe. For those of you who have already done so, thank you. You can purchase Tina Grimes' books at Amazon, and you can purchase my books at the link below or from thebookpatch.com/thebookstore. Are you or someone you know in need of domestic violence resources? Remember, it's not just about physical abuse. For more information, please contact the Tina Grimes Foundation at www.tinagrimesfoundation.org.